3 years ago, I started experimenting with eating raw vegan diet. I did not just go and immediately started eating only raw. I did it very gradually. So my first experiment was for 9 days straight. And that's when I realized that there is something seriously special about this way of eating. Now, I knew about raw veganism for quite a while now, way back to Butenka days. So I kind of did a lot of raw during my religious Lent over the years. But here's what I was doing. I would eat raw one day, and then the next day I would eat cooked vegan food, and then the next day raw, the next day cooked vegan food. It wasn't consistently going like day after day after day eating just raw. So it went on like this for a while, and I did experience benefits from doing that until, as I said, 3 years ago, I actually just did all raw for 9 days straight. And even though 9 days is not a significant amount of time, but for me, it was completely a turning point. So I started incorporating more and more raw into my life. And I have now realized that I have actually healed quite a few things over the course of these 3 years. In the past year, though, I've been eating mostly raw with sometimes occasional cooked vegan meals here and there, but otherwise it's been very high raw or completely raw all this time. By the way, I just completed a 7-week long Lent where I did not eat anything cooked at all. So yeah, it's been a really interesting experience for me. While I wasn't 100% raw over the past 3 years, I have experienced 20 major health changes, things that have healed or drastically improved in my body. So I'm going to share these 20 things with you in this video, so stay tuned and let's jump in. Number 1, I used to wake up in the morning being very super grumpy. I'm just not a morning person, but now I feel so much better and I feel happier. And no, of course, I'm not going to be dancing around at 5 in the morning, but I do feel definitely less annoyed. Number 2, I also had a lot of mucus in the morning, so I would blow my nose quite a few times, and then I had to really cleanse my face from all that mucus buildup, and I really don't have so much of that going on right now. There is very little mucus left, and I breathe so much easier now. Number 3, this next one is a really big one for me. When I get colds now, it's just a light dry cough for like 2 or maybe 3 days tops, and I might just get like a little scratchy throat and just a slight fever, nothing like major or crazy, and that's it. Compared to what I used to have, I really had these severe coughs where it would start like this. Like the first day of the sickness, I would not be able to breathe at times unless I put something menthol in my mouth. I just could not breathe. Like my throat would just like close. And I did have this issue since I was little, since I was growing up. And I remember doctors were telling my mom that they wanted to do some surgery and cut some things out, otherwise I wouldn't be able to breathe. They said if I'm gonna get one more sickness, I might not be able to breathe at all. And my mom said no, and she was trying to do some natural remedies. She actually never gave me antibiotics. I never had antibiotics throughout my whole childhood. I actually had antibiotics only once in my life when I turned 36. I had this horrible cough that wouldn't go away for months, and I went to the doctor and they said that it's probably bacteria going to my lungs and might be worse soon. So they prescribed me antibiotics and I took it. And so yeah, that was the only time that I took antibiotic in my entire life. And I'm really thankful for my mom to not just give in to traditional medicine, because I've had many coughs after that, and yeah, I survived. Yeah, it was pretty brutal at times. With every cough, I had to, on the first day, I just had to put something like menthol so I can breathe. Then it would be okay. I would just get these horrible coughs for weeks or even months. I had this every single winter. I really hated it. I was scared of it because I feel like I could not breathe. But you know what? After changing my diet, like completely 180 degrees, I don't have this anymore. I am not scared anymore. I don't have this. And this winter was the first time, like I said, in my entire life that I did not get that scary sickness. So I'm so grateful for this lifestyle, because it completely changed everything and it really opened my eyes. Okay, next one, number 4. I used to feel a lot more tired and lazy, especially after meals, even when I was eating vegan cooked food. but I don't really experience that anymore. Of course, I know that getting good night's sleep also helps, but I've noticed that eating more raw food has made a big difference. It's super hydrating and energizing, and it's a real game changer. Alright, number 5. I used to wake up with numb hands in the morning, and sometimes my thumb just wouldn't work, but not anymore. That all went away after I quit, first of all, coffee, and I fully embraced this keto vegan / fully raw vegan lifestyle. By the way, if you still think that it's okay to drink coffee even a little bit, then check out my videos right here. Okay, I was debating about next one, whether I should include it or not, and I decided I'm gonna go ahead and include it. This one is a bit more TMI, but we are going in there. I'm just gonna say it as it is. No more constipation, okay? Now, according to what doctors told me, if I have a BM once a day, it's normal. That means I'm regular, that means I'm normal, there is no problem at all. But I knew that it wasn't ideal. My gut, literally my gut, my gut feeling was like, I need to release more, there is more waste. And of course, it wasn't smooth and easy on the way out, if you know what I mean. So I felt constipated and clogged up. And I was already eating plant-based diet, and I was still clogged up until I started eating lots and lots of raw foods. By the way, I know, and most of you know, that even people who are eating keto diet, most of them drink coffee and lots of coffee, and only then they can go. So try quitting coffee and rely solely on your body to do its job the way it's supposed to do. And you probably know that it will be hard. At least this is how it was for me until I realized that I had to do something, and I found this raw food lifestyle. Number 7, I also noticed that I do not have any more bloating. My bloating is gone. Unless, of course, I eat a bucket full of all kinds of cruciferous vegetables like, broccoli, cabbage, kale, all of that, and I eat large quantities, then I might have a bit of a stomach problem going on. Now, I still eat small quantities of things like broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage because I do enjoy these vegetables from time to time, but I don't consume large quantities, and I'm not bloated anymore. Now, I do still eat massive salads with all these savory fruits and all these mild leafy greens and herbs, and I make dressings out of nuts and seeds, and there is no more bloating. I eat 8 oranges in the morning for breakfast, and I am not bloated. My digestion is super smooth. I feel super light, no abdominal pain, no problem in the bathroom, and most importantly, I have a EM almost every time after I eat a meal, and no more constipation. And I do feel that even my mood changed because of that, and I feel so much happier now. I believe that this is how we're supposed to feel, how we're supposed to function, instead of building all this garbage up in the body and then all the other functions get clogged up as well, which in turn may cause all this inflammation and all these horrible diseases. We are not meant to store all that stuff inside of us. It's supposed to get out quickly and easily without any straining. Now, I'm sorry to talk about this topic here, but I think that this is number 1 problem with people having all sorts of health issues. So I felt like this needs to be talked about. Okay, moving on. The next thing that I've noticed is that I have this tremendous improvement in my brain fog. Like, I really feel clear-headed now, and it's a really great feeling. I did not know I could feel like this. I don't know, you just have to experience, especially if you are over 40, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, number 9, the next issue I had was something very interesting. I had a small growth on my belly, and it was like a tiny small wart. However, it looked a bit inflamed, and I had it for years actually now, and it was not going away, but it was kind of getting more inflamed. It wasn't growing a lot, but it was kind of getting constantly inflamed, and it was like a little redness going on in there. So after about a year of doing this super high raw vegan way of eating, I have noticed that it kind of shrunk. It shrunk to the point where I can hardly see it. No, I did not go to the doctor to diagnose it, because I know that usually when you go to diagnose some sort of bumps and lumps and all that stuff. Doctors would like to do a biopsy, and I don't like intervening with my body the surgical way, because I prefer to figure out things without cutting parts left and right and then being poisoned by all these medications. So I let the nature and my body do its job. I just provided the right environment and my body started healing itself. So it really looks like our bodies are so much more intelligent than we think, and they are always protecting us from something, and they are always healing given the right environment and nourishment. Number 10. So this next one was something that I shared in one of my previous videos, but I will mention it here that I have not had any ear ringing anymore. It's a thing from the past. It was horrible, but it's gone. Again, thanks to raw foods and only raw foods. Number 11. Now, I eat a very, very high fruit raw diet, and many people wonder about the sweet or acidic fruit and the effect on our teeth enamel. When I just started eating lots of fruits, I did experience this teeth sensitivity, and I would even get pain from eating fruits. And I was eating fruits like grapes, apples, citruses. The only fruit that I was able to eat without any problem was all sorts of melons, cantaloupe, watermelon, all those melons. I had no problems eating those. For some time, I was eating a lot of that. So I did go to my dentist to see what he says about these problems, but he couldn't find anything wrong, and in fact, he always compliments me on my teeth. So I didn't change anything really. I didn't change my toothpaste. All I did, I was just rinsing more and I was flossing more, because a lot of citrusy fruits, for example, or mango, they can get stuck in your teeth, and it's better to kind of do the flossing and the rinsing to make sure that there is no bacteria growing and corroding your teeth or something. So I think maybe it took about quite a few months to get used to this high fruit diet, and now I am no longer sensitive to eating fruit, unless of course I eat dates. If I eat a whole bunch of dates, I still feel a slight sensitivity. So I really make sure if I eat dates like this, I gotta really go rinse it really well and floss it right away. I do not take a chance, because yeah, it can destroy your teeth. So like I said, I'm no longer sensitive to fruit, and I don't know if this is true, but I have heard that cooked food is responsible for so many of our teeth problems. And when we switch to raw, our bodies go through this some sort of transformation and detox, so to clear all this old basically crap out of our system, and teeth could get sensitive as well at the beginning of the journey as they are detoxing. They are also detoxing. So maybe that's what happened. Okay, moving on. Another thing that I have noticed is that my gums are no longer bleeding. I used to brush my teeth or floss my teeth, and I would get a little bit of a tiny blood here and there from that. Right now, I can floss pretty hard. I don't have bleeding gums anymore. This is an interesting improvement too, so I was kind of surprised, pleasantly surprised. Moving on to number 13, let's talk about the weight loss. And of course, it is pretty easy to release all this extra weight when eating fully raw or high raw vegan diet. So I have totally lost about 20 pounds since I started 3 years ago. Now, I never go on a diet to just lose weight. I make the weight loss to be a nice side effect when I try changing my eating habits. So I did not restrict. I never restrict. If I'm hungry, I would eat. I just choose to eat different things. And that makes a huge difference. Now, of course, if you switch to raw vegan diet and you start piling up eating a lot of dehydrated things or nuts and seeds and lots of dry fruit, you will gain weight, because those are really high calorie source foods. If you actually planning to lose weight, try to eat a lot of fruit, all kinds of fruit, a little bit less dry fruit. Just eat a whole bunch of bananas. If you don't like bananas, put them inside the blender, blend them up with some dates, and you got yourself a really nice smoothie. It's high in calories, and it's gonna keep you going for quite a while, and it's gonna give you so much energy that you never dreamed you could have. I'm telling you, this is really happened to me. So I really wanted to share with you guys, because when I go outside, I look at everybody walking around like a zombie. They could barely drag their feet from work to home. This is just depressing. We lost this energy, we lost this zest for life, but we can get it back. We can get it back if we switch to a high fruit diet. I can't say enough about this. This is just a lifestyle that I can't believe I was I was eating differently all my life. I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. Now, let's talk about my skin. It's feeling so much better now. I gotta tell you that. Now, I never had tons of acne, but I would get a pimple here and there once in a while, especially if I eat something greasy. By the way, before I went vegan, I used to eat a lot of dairy, like ice creams, and I did have quite a few constellations going on all over my face. They would fade away. I didn't have like some horrible skin like a lot of people unfortunately experience, but it wasn't perfect, okay? I did have breakouts, and I did have them quite often, especially after I eat a lot of dairy. So that's something to think about. If you really struggle with acne, and my suggestion to you, if you're still eating dairy, get rid of dairy. Get rid of coffee. Get rid of all this junk. Eat high fruit. You're gonna clean out your pimples, all those acne, they are all going away. I'm telling you, they will go away. So I really don't have this issue anymore, and my skin is so much better now. Okay, moving on to number 15. Another thing that happened was that I've noticed a really fast wound healing, like when you get a cut or something like that. Well, not as fast as a baby, of course, I wish, but if you have kids, you probably noticed how fast they heal when they are babies. Like within a day or maybe two, and they are like brand new, like nothing. You don't see any scars, nothing. Of course, all my wounds and things and cuts, they don't feel as fast as the baby. I'm 45 years old, but they started healing faster. All my little cuts, I've noticed they are actually healing faster. Like compared to before, I was eating a lot of raw foods. It's just a huge difference, and I find it just really fascinating. Okay, next one is interesting also, that now I find that when I eat a raw food diet, like a mostly raw food diet, I started getting this stronger sense of smell and taste. So fruits to me, they taste sweeter. Greens, they are like more vibrant, and like very light scents are now so much more intense. So I thought that was interesting to bring up as well. And by the way, speaking of the smells, I have noticed that I have less BO now than before. Oh, not completely gone, but much less. And even if I forget to use deodorant for a day, I'm not smelling horrific by the end of the day. I used to have to carry my deodorant with me at all times, but not anymore. Okay, the next one is my face is definitely less puffy than it used to be. And my daughter even told me that I'm aging backwards. Well, I don't think it's that drastic, but she's been super sweet, and yeah, I'll take that compliment. Okay, moving on to number 19. So here's another really weird and interesting one, and it's probably related to this mucus thing I was talking about before. I have so much less right now. I have so much less earwax build up. Like I used to have to clean it like, on a daily basis. Right now, not that much. Very little, very slight. So I don't know, go figure. There are so many little things I started noticing. It's just something. Now, before I move on to my last point, I just wanted to say that if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to click subscribe button. It's free and it's easy, and it helps my channel grow, and it helps me to share this message with more people. And don't forget to like if you enjoy this kind of video. I really appreciate it. Now, number 20. Now, I really feel like I have increased physical stamina. Right now, I feel like I have more energy and I can keep going longer. And it's all thanks, once again, to the raw foods. Because they do give the body what it really needs. And all these foods, they really help with staying stronger and staying energized. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing a workout or just getting through your day. I just don't get this tiredness. I feel like I can keep on going. So I think that's pretty amazing. So there you have it, 20 things that I healed on a raw food diet. And if you're interested in more, then watch this next video on the screen, and I'll see you there. Bye.